Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here with another episode of Gaming Nostalgia. This is going to be the last one for this set. Everything I've done in this set has been chronological in terms of when I experienced it. So, I went back and, talked about Sonic the Hedgehog when I first got Sonic the Hedgehog, and everything happened, the first time I played that game. Whether or not that was when the game came out, but that's the first time I played the game. And I didn't talk about some games, because, I have, history with, Sonic 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 and things like that. But I figured that's going to be for another version of this. I will do more gaming nostalgia, but this one, I figured this is where I would end this batch on, and as you can see, this is Final Fantasy XI. Now, this was the first real MMO I ever played. I played Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast, but I really don't consider that an MMO. I'm sorry, but it didn't have the same feel. This had a very MMO feel, and this game I've been playing for a very, very long time. I did take time off because I did lose a little bit of interest, but I was, brought back into the game by friends. So, off and on, I've been playing this game a really long time, and as such, I have a lot of stories about this game. For example, I will never forget walking out into West Ronfair. I started off in Sandoria. For those of you who are familiar with the game, I started in Sandoria, and my starting zone was Ronfair. And just seeing the sunlight through the trees on Ronfair and the music will always conjure those memories. For those of you who don't know, Sandoria is one of the starting cities, and you can choose to start in one of 3, and the zones for where you start are related to what city you start in. But the specific story that I wanted to talk about is my friends. I have a lot of friends who currently play or have played this game. The list is extensive. Me and my wife play, Kulix plays, Darkseith and his wife play. I've met a ton of people that I know personally who have played this game. Because either we were playing or someone we knew was playing, and we all played together. And it became a big social focal point for a lot of us. But I have also met one of my best friends in this game. Now, way back in the day, when this game was still fairly new, and there was a specific meta to the game. You went to specific places, you did certain things in order to progress through the game. There was a very, very strict progression path through the game, because it was, at the time, the easiest way to do it. And this game was punishing and unforgiving, which meant if you wanted to do any of the in-game content, you had to abide by these rules, or it would take you infinitely longer, almost. Depending on what job you were playing, it may not have been possible at all. So, during that time, we met Luthalis, or as we now call him, Luth. We were at a very specific zone, because we were leveling at the same time. Both he and I were leveling the warrior job. It was our first job that we were taking up, and we were in the same zones at the same time, typically in the same party at the same time. So, we got to know each other. We talked, asked why are you doing this? Why are you using this piece of equipment? Why are you... Because, again, there were very, very specific paths. And I wasn't adhering to one of those paths. Like I said, I was leveling warrior. Warriors used great axes at that time. That's just it. At that level that we met him, warriors used great axes. That's all they did. I was using a greatsword like I am now, because I knew this would be the weapon that I would be focusing most of my time and effort on skilling up. And we sat and we talked, and we were in the same party for days and weeks on end. And it progressed to we were talking outside of the game. We were talking on Instant Messenger. We were texting. We were calling each other. He got along well with both me and my wife. We had a blast. And we decided, hey, we're going to be going through your neck of the woods on our way up to West Virginia for a trip. Would you like to come with us? Now, granted, we had not met him in person. He had not met us in person. We had fairly limited interaction up until that point. But, you know, running the risk that he was a serial killer or that we were serial killers, we said sure. And we picked him up and brought him to, there's a festival in West Virginia we go to every year, and he came with us, and we had a blast. It was probably the most fun I'd had in a long time up until that point. And we were really glad that we decided to invite him, and he was just glad that he decided to come. And from that point on, we made it a point to level together from that point on for the rest of our time in the game. We were always doing something together. We went on quests together, we leveled together, we did missions together. I'm wearing right now more traditional, like a Dark Knight specific set of armor, because it's my class of choice. He helped get not several of these pieces, but some of the original pieces of my Dark Knight armor. He helped me go and get those, and we in turn helped him get his Paladin armor, and we did these quests together. And the zone that I'm in specifically is one of the best stories I can tell about Luth in this game. We came to this spot years ago. This is right after this particular expansion came out, Treasures of Ottergan. We came to this spot because these birds that I'm fighting, the Colibri, were the best thing to level off of for our level range at the time. It was you came here. These things were easy. They were good experience, and you know that's how people leveled. It's, you know, safe zone. These things wouldn't attack you just by walking past them. Some of the other things that we'd have to pass to get here would, but we were not in a. This is not a threatening area. It wasn't at the time either. It was just. This is. Like I said, this is where the meta of the game was for our level range. This is where you went. So we were basing our party here. This is back when you had to use a 6-person party to get anything done. And a very specific 6-person party. You needed a support, you needed a tank, you needed a healer, you needed damage dealer. You had a specific setup that you had to do. So we based here, because this is a nice safe spot. There's, you know, not a lot of things around. This being a watchtower for this zone. Luth, it was me, my wife, Luth, my friend Sanchez, I believe, and then 2 people that were not a part of our circle of friends, just random pickups in the game. These 2 random pickups quickly got very concerned about Luth. Luth was our tank, and as such, he was the person that ensured we were either going to be surviving or dying. And Luth's first reaction when he gets here is to walk up to that watchtower and start yelling in-game to where anyone in the area could hear him in the chat window, screaming about how this is his home and how Javier, his gardener, didn't do a good enough job pruning the roses and has locked himself in Luth's tower. This was Luth's tower. Screaming at this, that Javier was trying to steal his wife, and just all of these nonsensical things that we all got a kick out of. But the other 2 people in the party that did not know us from a hole in the ground just started sending private messages to us like, hey, should we get another tank? I've got a friend who could be here in like 10 minutes. Like, are we are we comfortable with this? I'm like, he's fine. He's one of the best tanks I've ever worked with. He's just out of his damn mind. And sure enough, he was out of his damn mind. Because both of these people were sending, not just me, but my wife, she was the person who formed the party. Not that much forming needed, but just, 4 of the slots were taken up with people who were in direct contact with each other. And I don't remember if this is the specific time, but we all used to play this in the same room. We lived with Darkseith and his wife for a while, and we had one bedroom dedicated to all of our computers so that we could play Final Fantasy together, not have to rely on the in-game chat, and we could chat in real time. We could talk to each other. And Luth and Culex did the same thing. When they would come to visit, we would have 5 or 6 TVs or monitors or means of playing this game amongst various devices so that all of us could form a full party and talk in real time and not have to worry about it. And we told these facts to the random people who managed to be brought into our pickup parties, that we're all in the same room and we're all things are all right. We're good. And these people were just so concerned with the craziness that he was spewing, just for shits and giggles. That he was coming up to this doorway, screaming and using emotes saying, "Javier, let me in! Unhand my wife, you son of a bitch!" Just that's what he was going after. And we lost it. And that's just one of many stories. There are times that Luth got us killed. That we joke that Luth as a paladin is great in a party, but terrible on a quest. Because he just stops paying attention on the walk from point A to point B. And, you have to be very careful getting there. Because, something will pop up that you're just not paying attention to and just kill you. And I'll never forget, Darkseith and his wife, they were not high enough level to actually get to a specific town on their own. So Luth escorted them and got them killed on the way there, and had to call my wife so that she could come and resurrect them, so that they could continue on. And these are the things that I remember about Luth for this game, and that's just how things went. But because of this game, I met one of my best friends. He was a groomsman at my wedding. I really can't say anything more than that. He's been a fantastic friend, and I've had the pleasure of watching him grow into just like an amazing adult. We were all kind of kids when we met. We a couple of years older than him, but we watched him become, an adult. We watched his family grow, his 2 beautiful children, and his wonderful girlfriend, and we've made them a part of our family. I honestly consider him a brother to me. It's one of many friends that I consider a brother. And I just can't imagine what my life would be like without him as a part of it. He's always here, and thankfully, he just recently got a job in our town. He's just a few minutes down the road from us now, and that means we don't have to see him once or twice a year, based off of the travel time needed to get from his old home to here, or that he has to find a babysitter for his kids, or how he's going to bring his kids here. He's local. We get to see him whenever we want. We just have to go, down the road to go visit. So we are exceptionally happy to have him and his family be so close to us, because for I don't even know how many years at this point, 7, 8, 9? I'd have to sit there and actually do the math. But for that many years, he's been a fixture at all of our get-togethers. He's one of those people that just I just don't even know how to explain it. We've not seen eye to eye on everything throughout our friendship, but even that's a sign of a fantastic friendship. Is even though we don't see eye to eye on everything and we have different opinions on everything, we can still respect each other and the fact that we have differing opinions, and not make it personal that we don't have different opinions, or that we lose respect for each other. It's like, oh, you don't have the same opinion as I do. I don't think I could be friends with you then. Like, that's not ever how it's been with us. And all because we just happened to be playing this game at the same time. And we were in the same place at the same time. Like, I know a lot of people, at the time, for years, there have been stigmas of, oh, you met someone online, especially relationships. Like, you met this person online. I'm not ashamed at all to say I met one of my best friends in an MMO online. Just not at all. And I don't think any of my friends who've played this game with me friends that I knew before this game, which most of my friends who played this game I knew before the game came out, that would have anything else to say. Like, they would not be ashamed either to say, I've met this fantastic person, this great friend, in an MMO. Like, I guess that's just our generation, that that's not something to be ashamed of. Especially if you saw us together, you would see how we all interact, and just how we are around each other. That you would honestly think we've been friends since we were like 5, simply because of this game. So yeah, that's been Gaming Nostalgia. Like I said, I'm going to do more of these later on as another project, but I figure, you know, a group of 10 would be a good way to start, and next time I'll just pick... I won't do the chronological order, at least I don't think I will. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do more of these, but for now, this is where I'm going to leave off on. So, like I said, I really want to hear more of your stories as well. I want to hear your experiences in gaming and how it's shaped you as a person. I love hearing these stories. You guys have shared some great stories with me, and I want to keep hearing them. So, with that, I'm going to wander on a little farther in Vana'diel, and just reminisce some. So I will see you guys in future projects and later installments. So till then, later everyone.